Hello, hello, everyone. I hope you're all doing good. Welcome to this full moon in Aquarius. It happens exactly here in Lisbon time at the 1st of August, um, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 31 minutes past 7 p.m. So, this is a full moon that is very, very strong. Um, well, we have the fixed signs being activated, but we also have actually a stronger energy of the earth sign, of the earth signs here at this moment. So let's just try to understand what's going on in the sky. But just to start, we have the sun in Leo at 9 degrees of Leo. We have the moon of 9 degrees of Aquarius. If you know your personal chart by heart, you will know exactly where this falls in your chart. So in which areas of life this is actually touching, and yeah, the full moon itself is so the sun and the moon, they're actually being activated by Jupiter because they do a dynamic aspect to Jupiter, which is in Taurus. Then we have, of course, Venus already retrograding in Leo, and it's going to be there until the first days of September. I don't have the exact dates, pardon me, but that's not my. I don't focus on those kind of details as until they actually approach. Um, but yeah, so Venus is retrograding already, and is going to be basically going until the 12th or 11th degree of Leo, coming back to the 11th degree or 12th degree of Leo. So already, if you know your chart, if you know exactly where the Leo sign falls in your chart, you will know exactly what this means for you. And maybe go back in time as well and try to relate to the previous times that Venus was there. And what kind of subjects did it activate by then? Then we have also Mercury already in Virgo, so it's in his home, one of his home signs, but he's actually opposite Saturn exactly by degree. So this is intense as well. And yeah, not to say the least, but we have also the nodes, the lunar nodes in an exact square with Pluto. So this is intense. They're all dynamic aspects, and the only aspect that is actually soothing, or yeah, at least a little bit more harmonious, is actually the well, two aspects actually, but the most harmonious and even optimistic one that is happening is the trine between Mars and Jupiter. And then we have also a trine in between Venus and the North Lunar Node, but of course Venus is retrograding, so it's still this kind of energy of reviewing a lot of things, especially everything that is related to relationships or our sense of self worth, and of course, how that translates into the financial situation, of course. So, all those kind of topics that are being activated by this Venus retrograde in Leo, they're they're coming to surface. We have a few, um, yeah, still more than a month to try to understand what this is bringing, and then we still have until October to actually gain clarity on those issues and try to take a different approach. But yeah, but a lot of things may be clearing out, or at least becoming clear on those kind of topics. And yeah, so as I was saying, we have this very, very strong and very dynamic. And when I mean dynamic, it can be challenging because it requires some kind of different approach, some kind of change, some kind of ownership and proactivity towards the issues that are being activated in our charts. So, of course, this is not so much what we may want. It's not comfortable. It's not exactly what we were thinking about for summertime, which is like more about relaxing and enjoying and just being around friends and, yeah, having a blast. But here, maybe this blast may actually be a little bit postponed to September. Um, because we need to figure out a few things here. So I'm just going to start mentioning the lunar nodes. They have already changed axis, so they're now activating the axis of Aries and Libra. And I think I mentioned this in a previous video of mine. But this axis is about identity, and of course, it's not just how I present myself to others and how I like to be, yeah, how I like to be perceived by others, but it's also about my strength, physical strength, and then also my relationship to my instincts or my impulse to action, especially when I'm in a relationship with someone, when I have a partner and I have to mitigate also, or maybe not mitigate, but I have to find a way to follow my instincts and my impulse for action, but still being very aware of the impact that is going to cause on the other person and on the relationship. So I have to be a little bit more cautious and I have to learn how to balance this or how to communicate better about this without the fear of conflict or without the fear of finding differences in opinions and in perspectives. So we have to honor each other's identity and still being able to find a common ground to continue our journey together if that's what we want. But basically, this axis for me is about identity and the mirror that I get when I'm in a relationship with someone about issues that I haven't been aware and that I'm not able to be aware when I'm not in a close relationship with someone. Um, so yeah, this can be quite intense, and it's going to last 1 year and a half, a little bit more than that, but yeah. So you can count on 1 year and a half to understand. Of course, if you know also, as I was saying, where you have Aries and where you have Libra in your chart, maybe you know already what kind of triggers this is going to bring for you and what kind of topics this is going to bring to the surface. But if you're not, then it's worth taking a look at that and try to figure out how you can become a little bit more aware of yourself and how you are in those partnerships or in those close relationships. And having Pluto now activating that by degree, it can feel very, very intense, as I was saying. So Pluto brings everything to the surface. So whatever needs to bring to the needs to come to the surface related to this axis, to the way that you, yeah, to the way that you feel that you're independent and autonomous, that you're not depending on anyone, but at the same time that you can actually feel that you can build something together without feeling trapped or without feeling dependent. So learning to balance those things, those topics about Libra and Aries, whatever is here, whatever stayed here for until now, that is traumatic or that is conditioned by some kind of limitations or some kind of beliefs that you learn throughout your life, or through the way that that you've seen other people, close people in your family, for example, the way that you saw relationships, the way that you saw how the individuals in the relationships actually could strive together, or or actually intoxicate one another in that relationship. So this kind of memories may resurface now, for you to understand how they are actually conditioning the way that you position yourself in your relationships and your partnerships, and what kind of role do you tend to take on those situations, if you're the one just following your impulse and becoming aggressive, or becoming selfish, and lashing out, or if you actually tend to be the one that becomes silent and trying to put your trying to put your opinions and your needs aside, so that everything can be as it was, just for the sake of some kind of peace, which is not really peace for anyone. It's just a way of covering up for something that, just to, not make any fuss. So, this kind of things need to be rebalanced. So Pluto is going to bring them up. And on itself, of course, it's already a lot, because Pluto is quite rarely soft. Still, it can be powerful and it can be gentle. The message can come to you in a very, very potent and clear way, but still be gentle and still be one that you can welcome, from from a place of strength. It doesn't have to like cut you in the knees and just knock you out. So it doesn't have to be very, very harsh. That's not what I mean. But it's going to come in a very clear and in a very powerful way. Still gentle, but it has to be witnessed. It has to be faced. So this is something that is going to come. Also, and just by having this full moon already triggering Jupiter here as well. And remember that the sun is in Leo, so the sun is very, very fiery. So it's bringing the fire. It's bringing our fire up. And how can this translate? Is just having this enthusiasm and this strong need to live life fully, and to take it all in. But remember that we have Venus here that is retrograding. So anything that is going through Leo, or your Leo house, is going to bring also everything that is not seen, that hasn't been seen for some reason. And so the shadow side of Leo is, of course, the part of us that seek for attention, that seek for some kind of validation or appreciation. So and this is basically a lack of self-esteem, or a self-confidence. So where those attack us, where those triggers are going to attack us, is exactly there, where we feel that we are not seen, that we are not. And of course, we have the moon in Aquarius, which is about belonging. finding our place in our tribe, in our community, and seeking for that kind of belonging. So when we feel that our talents or that our personality or whatever, that I am not welcomed, or I am not, I don't feel safe in that community, I basically start questioning myself. If I'm not self confident enough, I will start just questioning myself about my qualities, about my talents, about everything, and trying to actually adapt or become a different person so that I can be appreciated in that kind of tribe or in that kind of community, rather than actually trying to understand what kind of people do I actually want to surround myself with. And that maybe they don't have to appreciate myself, because the moment that I actually appreciate myself, they will just welcome that and welcome whatever I have to give, because I'm in this kind of full glass uh, spirit. So I will just overflow, and I won't need as much of that validation and of that appreciation. Of course, we all want to feel the love, and having the sun and Venus and this fiery sign, of course, we need to feel it in our skin, in our body. So this is quite intense, and also we want to relate to everyone's ideas because it's Aquarius on the other side. But this is about me filling my own cup so that I can overflow to others and not the other way around. The thing here is that having this square, so this T square with Jupiter in Taurus, we may feel it too strongly to actually seek for the benefits and seek for the pleasures of it without actually putting the work. So maybe we are overdoing something here. So either we are overdoing this need for belonging, either we are doing this kind of seek for appreciation from everyone else, and trying to manipulate others into liking us, and if this is possible. But this will only show whatever in our lives is not sustainable anymore, and how that much toxic behavior is actually going to impact our bodies, and our bodies are going to show, because we are speaking about Jupiter in Taurus, and Taurus is the relationship to the senses and the relationship to a sustainable physical structure that helps us go through life, which is the body. So whatever is not well is going to show. Whatever we have been overdoing for whatever reason is going to be shown. So of course, the opposite sign of Taurus is Scorpio. So again, we have this plutonic kind of energies coming in. We can invite them to understand and to like seek further and deeper. Why do we need that much the attention of the others, and why do we seek that? Why do we seek for that belonging? Why? What in our history have been pushing us in that direction, and not actually empowering us, and how can we actually seek for that empowerment ourselves, and trying to appreciate more of who we are, because we are all unique, and we have unique gifts to give the world, to give our communities. So it's about me seeking for whatever fills up my cup, but also overflow to everyone around me. And it's not about me, it's about what makes me happy, but so that I can overflow to my community, and that is sustainable. throughout life. So it's not just something that I'm overdoing now, and in the long run is not going to last because I will, yeah, for some reason I will burn out, or my physical health will be affected. It's about something that, yeah, makes me genuinely happy to do and to provide for my community, so that I can be of service, because that's why we're here. It's not to just seek comfort and to seek um, for pleasure just for oneself, is to serve our communities as well, to make sure that whatever is making me happy can also make some other people that needs that happy. So, but we need to be aware of what in our lives is already enough, and what is making our, yeah, our physical bodies ache or just distressed, and like as a way to manifest, as a way to scream that something is already enough. So yeah, just pay attention to that, and do something about it. It's not about like going to the past and understanding, oh, this is why I've been doing this and this and this. It's about like, okay, I understand that I've been doing this, but this doesn't serve me. So how can I do it differently? And start acting differently, for as uncomfortable as it seems, but we need that kind of sustainable action as well. Um, yeah, and then we have to top it all off, we have Mercury opposite Saturn, and of course Mercury in Virgo is at home and it has this incredible um, ability to, yeah, to help our minds be a little bit more practical and down to earth, and understand. And this actually can help us, like if we have, okay, we have this breakthroughs coming from this plutonic energies, and we have this breakthroughs about, wow, I've been doing this my whole life and this is just toxic for me, and this is not helping anymore. So it helps me understand how exactly I can actually change my actions, my behavior, and put it into some kind of routine. So it helps me break those things down to tiny little changes that are going to make a difference in the end. So because it has this ability to analyze things and be very practical of towards what needs to change. And of course, in the way that we communicate, it may also become very very practical, and this can, at some degree, and also especially because it's opposite Saturn, it can bring a little bit of the tonic of, yeah, yeah, a lot of criticizing, self-criticizing or criticizing others. So it can bring this judgmental, and like becoming a little bit more prone of what is not functioning well. And it's okay to to spot on what is not functioning well, but if I keep on just focusing on that, then it's not helpful, and at some point it's going to actually stop. It's going to be it's going to bring some kind of resistance to actually change that, or to do something different. So it can bring this fear of failure even stronger, or that resistance to change even stronger. And so we need to balance this too. We need to bring the flexibility of Mercury, the ability to kind of dance with what's coming, and trying to focus on the bright side of Virgo as well, which is um, understanding what is functioning as well, what is helpful, um, because the focus is going to be immediately on what's not functioning. So we have to train our minds here um, to focus on what is actually functioning now, what can help me now, and do that consistently, because this is also um, Virgo. Mercury can also bring this superficial kind of approach and maybe too flexible. So, with this opposition to Saturn, it can actually help to commit to something. So, how do I want to commit? I want to commit to perfect things, to make things work, and like little steps at a time. But I also need to be forgiving. I also need to be Pisces. I also need to be compassionate. But I need to balance those very, very well, so that I stay committed, but I don't like criticize myself and beat myself up as soon as I do some kind of mistake, or I don't actually do what I was committing to on one day. So so this is something that I have to be a little bit more compassionate with, and try to understand why did I do it? Didn't I do it that day? And go back to it immediately. So bring a little bit of forgiveness and a little bit of compassion, and self-compassion here it's going to help us all a great deal. So yeah, bring that and enjoy life as much as you can. Still, this is summertime, and this is supposed to be a time to enjoy, but also to understand what is not helping us enjoying life even more, and what is not sustainable for us to be enjoying. So why are we indulging in some kind of practice or in some kind of behavior that is actually not sustainable for me personally, and especially not for the people that I am surrounded by, the community that I'm integrated in, that I'm part of. So yeah, I hope this helps. At least here in Portugal, we have very warm weather, and the wildfires are here. And again, we need to, we all need to commit at some point to really take serious action in our lives to, to calm this down and to respect. If we want to continue here on Earth, we really need to pay attention to what we are doing and how we are running our lives. So I hope you can do that kind of reflection, and I hope this is still a gentle, as I said, it may be difficult to face, but it can be gentle and it can be soft. So take this soft and lovingly, and yeah, we'll see you. I hope we'll see each other again in the new moon. Bye bye. Take care.